Hey everybody, it's your buddy, Admiral Teague. The much anticipated trailer for 1923, A Yellowstone Origin Story Season 2 is finally dropped, giving fans a tantalizing glimpse into what's in store when the show premieres on Paramount Plus in late February of 2025. So hit those like and follow buttons and join me for a preview of Season 2. The thrilling 1 minute trailer doesn't give away too much, but leaves no doubt that the tensions are still sky high after the explosive Season 1 cliffhanger. As a fan, I'm already kind of counting down the days so I can find out how this powder keg detonates. My biggest question? Just how do we climb down from the tense standoff at the Yellowstone Ranch? When last we saw the Duttons, their world had been completely upended by the shocking revelation that Timothy Dalton's Donald Whitfield, the man behind the man, held all the cards.
That first payment has not been made. Hefty penny you owed. I took the liberty of making it for you.
The Duttons were toe-to-toe with Banner Creighton and Whitfield in a confrontation that seemed impossible to defuse. It felt like violence was inevitable. The trailer opens with Spencer Dutton's voice, delivering the stakes with chilling clarity.
So,
in Montana, there's a war over my family's land. From there, the message is clear. Everyone is armed and ready for blood. Cara Dutton, played by Helen Mirren, already a force to be reckoned with, looks prepared to do whatever it takes. We saw how capable Cara is with that shotgun in the very first moments of Season 1's first episode. The looming question is, can the Duttons hold off the relentless forces coming for them? This isn't just a battle anymore. It's a war. A war between Whitfield's insatiable greed and the Duttons' will to survive. One thing's for sure, the Duttons are staring down their hardest fight yet. One of the most exciting teases in the trailer, Spencer and Alexandra seem to have finally made it to Montana. Their journey to Spencer's childhood home spanned half of last season and wasn't over yet. Crossing oceans and desert and overcoming sheer chaos. Their story sort of climaxed, for lack of a better word, with an epic and fateful brawl between World War I veteran Spencer and Alex's former fiancée, a fight that showed a little bit about all the players involved. Alex did drop this guy like a hot rock the moment she laid eyes on Spencer.
You'll never convince her that.
But instead of moving on, he doubles back and gambles everything he has in an unbalanced bid to redeem lost honor no one but him seems to care about. He seals his fate with one too many ill-advised, underhanded moves. Seriously, he already had another chick drooling over his dumbass. I don't want to spoil anything about how this brawl turned out. Let's just say it's a must-see moment from Season 1. One small detail I noticed in the trailer is Alex's hair is noticeably longer, seeming to indicate that months have passed since the last time we saw them, stranded in Egypt. Spencer and Alex's relationship is a highlight of 1923 for a few reasons. These two just work together. They're at a place wherever they go, but they've proven that they can thrive in chaos. Julia Schlapfer and Brandon Sklenner have incredible chemistry. It's an energy that makes you root for them no matter what. And let's be honest, the show hasn't shied away from showcasing Alexandra in all her glory either. In fact, there's a decent amount of undressed beautiful women in Season 1. It wasn't so much gratuitous as it really served the story, but let's just say we saw some unsettling kink from robber baron Donald Whitfield. What sets Spencer and Alex apart, though, is how they transform under pressure, whether it's fending off a lion, surviving a sinking ship, or facing Alex's insufferable ex-fiancée. These two are at their best when the stakes are life or death. Season 1's best moment of show don't tell storytelling was the brawl I talked about earlier between Spencer and Alex's former fiancée. It's a brutal primal fight. It revealed Spencer's reluctance to unleash his deadly skills from the trenches of World War I and just how much Alex loves and believes in him. These two have been through hell and come out stronger. They don't back down, and anyone who tries to come between them is in for a rude awakening. When Spencer finally steps foot on the Yellowstone, things will likely have escalated beyond anything we've seen, but you could tell he's determined to have his say, maybe even the last word. Jerome Flynn's Banner Creighton, Season 1's antagonist, now finds himself between a rock and a hard place. After a season of violent clashes with Jacob Dutton, the idea of Creighton and the Duttons burying the hatchet feels impossible. But Whitfield changes everything.
Because I can.
In the trailer, there's a look in Creighton's eyes, a rare moment of clarity where he seems to realize just how terrifying Whitfield truly is. Could the Duttons and Creighton form an uneasy alliance against a greater threat? Stranger things have happened. Also in the trailer, we see Teonna Rainwater's fight for survival. Tionna's story picks up right where we left her, fleeing through the wilderness after finally snapping under the relentless abuse of Father Renuad and the other staff at the reservation school. Teonna endured unthinkable torment. Even her grandmother's intervention couldn't save her. When she delivered her own form of frontier justice, her escape turned into a desperate, harrowing fight for survival. Her storyline remains haunting, raw, and essential. And let's give credit where it's due. One of the smartest writing choices of the season was avoiding specifics about the likely fictional religion running the school. The clergy there was unambiguously evil. Violent biblical literalism taken to its darkest extreme, it spoke for itself. Taylor Sheridan and his team nailed this, believe me, and it was a good idea to make it a fictional or totally ambiguous religion that maybe it's defunct now. My final thoughts would be this. Season 1 of 1923 was brutal, action-packed, and emotionally gripping, cementing itself as one of the best shows of 2023. The most astounding thing about the show for me was the performance of Harrison Ford. He was powerful in this role. It's maybe his best acting since Air Force One. There's not a trace of the disengaged, inept Han Solo from the Star Wars sequels. He conveys malevolence, determination, and a real danger in a way that Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny should have, but just didn't deliver. One thing I loved about 1923 was finally having good feelings about a story with Harrison Ford again. Reunited with his Mosquito Coast co-star, Helen Mirren, the two deliver as a loving but formidable older couple. Last season, the action spanned 3 continents. So while Spencer and Alex still have ways to go, the most globe-trotting Yellowstone tale to date is uniting all of its characters at the Yellowstone Ranch in Taylor Sheridan's Montana. The ranch and its surroundings are visually arresting, occasionally strikingly beautiful, and they're an amazing stage for the story to unfold. It feels very much like a place a person would want to possess or fight to keep. 1923, a show I like to call Yellowstone The Next Generation, isn't nearly as relentlessly bleak as 1883, but it still delivered a harsher, darker look to the closing days of frontier life. 2 years later, the trailer for season 2 makes one thing crystal clear. 1923 hasn't lost a step. Spencer and Alexandra's arrival feels like the turning point we've been waiting for. While Cara Dutton's steely resolve and Whitfield's oppressive shadow set the stage for an all-out war, the Duttons are cornered. They're armed, they're ready, and something tells me Spencer's return to Montana is about to tip the scales. We have all the players who survived season 1 coming back, and believe me, there's a lot who didn't. There's going to be more drama, adventure, action, and romance in season 2 of 1923, which honestly seems to mostly, if not entirely, take place in 1924. Because we started last season with fall coming to an end as everyone in town near the Yellowstone Ranch had a panicked meeting about the scarcity of resources. Jake Dutton, whose claim to law enforcement is that he's a livestock agent, was pretty much the sole broker of the winners and losers of the contentious meeting, which ended with Jake slapping his gat right to Creighton's neck. The rest of the Montana part of season 1 deals with the consequences of the Livestock Commission's decision and just how far everyone is willing to go to get their way and survive another really lean year for the ranchers in the area. Spoiler, there are pretty much no limits. Death was a constant in the sole season of 1883, and it was almost as constant in season 1 of 1923. By the way, I've got a hunch. Look for Isabel May to return in her role as the Yellowstone franchise's narrator. Her interesting voice and haunting, ethereal delivery make her a powerful narrator in both 1883 and 1923. So far, when we hear her narration, it's always really well written. Both poetic and harsh, optimistic and pragmatic all at once. I'm really hoping for another one of her hypnotic stage-setting soliloquies to open up episode 1 of season 2. So anyway, I really appreciate your time, and I hope you enjoyed this video. If you want to catch up on the characters and the events of season 1, you should check out my other 1923 video, Every Character You Need to Know. I'll be covering season 2 of 1923 right here, so hit those like and follow buttons if you haven't already. For me, your buddy, Admiral Teague. So anyway, I'll see you out there. Take it easy.